Start recording. We'll do one down some out of church, like actually, yeah. All right. Welcome to October's Skills Lab. For those of you that are on Zoom, I'm told you can hear me, but we can't hear you. So if you have a question, we have Stacy manning the chat room. So just type in your question and Charles or I will get them answered as part of the process here. So, all right. So how's everybody doing today? Good? All right. So, were all of you at the business planning clinic, or most of you? Okay, so you have an idea of what you need to do to make your financial goals for next year, right? And so we gave you a number. And that number might be an income number, it might be a closings number, it might be an appointments number. But the reality is now is the next step. It's the how do we get there, right? And that particular part is going to be different for every single one of you. And so we're going today begin the process of helping you figure out your roadmap. So I have a question. If we were all going to get in a car and go on a road trip today, and I don't know, let's go to Florida, because I heard Mickey Mouse is pretty fun down there this time of year. And we were going to go. Did we just jump in the car? No, what do we do?
Rent a van for all of us.
We rent a van for all of us, and you're going to drive. Okay. Well, we got those. We can just grab them right out of the front of the office. Okay, but then what do we need? Like, do we just head east on I-70 and we'll get there? We need a map. Or now we all have what this thing is in our phone that's a maps thing that's also known as what? A GPS. Well, funny, we're going to create a map for your business for next year. Now, this is going to be really teaching you the how, and we're going to give you a whole lot of ideas. But the reality is, you're probably not going to walk away with knowing this is exactly what I need to do. That would be euphoria for me if that happened. But my goal is for you to understand what the GPS does, how to use it, and to give you some ideas of some ways that are activities that you can do to build your business. Does that sound good? Is there anything else you want from today? Okay, so we're going to build a GPS. And so I found this document.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Me neither. It came from a particular person that neither one of us are big fans of, so I won't say her name. But the reality is that the data here is good. Trust me. There's so many. But you notice I said it was a she, so you can't blame it on the one. Okay, so what's a GPS, right? When we think about a GPS in the mapping world, it's a global positioning system, right? But in our world, it's goals, priorities, and strategies, right? So what are your goals, the priorities that are going to get you there, and the strategies of which to do it, okay? So what do we need to do? So your goal is, what do you want to accomplish this year? Okay, and you can do this whether it's your business or something personal. Okay, a lot of people will build GPSs for multiple phases of their lives, depending on what you're doing. And I think you and Aaron do that, right? Right? They have a GPS for business, finances, fun, wealth. What else you got? Health. Does that pretty much cover it? Your GPSs. Okay. So what do you want to accomplish this year? That's your goal across the top. So if I'm doing one for my business, it might state in there, I want to make X amount of money and I want to close this many transactions. But then what I like to add to it is the so what? What's it going to do for me? One of the questions I asked you guys when you set your financial goals was, what do you want this money that you're going to generate from doing a real estate career? What do you want that money to do for you and your family? It might be pay off some bills. It might be pay off your house. It might be buy your first investment property. It might be go on a killer vacation to Disney. Whatever it is, it's yours, right? The priorities, these are what are the key things that you need to focus on so that you achieve your goals. I think we're going to spend some time brainstorming different priorities. Okay. Some things that we know, and then strategies. What actions are necessary to achieve each priority? And it's interesting, if you start measuring the activities you write on your GPS, the rest happens. So we want them to get very specific. So let me ask you this. Does anybody know what a SMART goal is? Okay. Relevant. Relevant, we used to say, yeah, relevant, we used to say reachable and time bound. Okay. So using those SMART goals will help you in order to figure out where you're going. And we're going to start really getting smart when we start talking about the strategies, right? Your SMART goal might be you host X number of open houses a month or a week or a day or whatever. SMART goal might be, we've been talking to several of you this morning in your one-on-ones. They don't let me come back off a 2-week vacation, Charles, easy.
Right.
Right? In our one-on-ones this morning, we've been talking about, being very specific on how many conversations you need to have in a week. And then how are you going to get there, right? So being very specific about that. Your priorities, this is about what are you going to do? Okay. What my plan looks like in my business, what Charles's plan looks like in his business, and every single one of yours is going to look different. Okay. What works for most may not work for you. Right? We know, and I'm just going to put this out here. We know that a lot of people use this 8,000-pound thing that we all carry around in our pockets to call people. But there are some of you that are like going, I'm not calling anybody. I don't call. If I call somebody, they're going to think somebody died. Okay, well, then we just have to find a different way for you to do conversations. But if you fall into that category where you know, I'm not calling people. I won't do it. I'll text. Okay, then write your plan around texts. Or if you're going, oh, I'm not even going to text anybody, but I would invite people to fill in the blank here, then write your plan to make sure you're doing enough of those types of invitations to get what you want to do. Does that make sense? So when we give you ideas and you be going, oh, there's no way I'm doing that, but I guess I'll write it down because Charles and Margaret said that's a good way to do my business. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Does that make fair? Okay. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money cold calling expireds and FSBOs. There's no way I'm putting that on my plan, Charles.
Nope.
You actually did that you did online leads. Okay. And then the strategies, these are the things that break it down into the daily and monthly tasks. Right? If you build this GPS and you have a relationship with this GPS, a year from now, we'll be celebrating that you hit your goals with 2 months to go in the year. Okay? If we build the right plan that supports the goals, and that's the question I'm going to always ask you to ask yourself. If my goal is to have, I think yours was 60, Ryan, I'll pick on you, right? I have to hit my goal. I need to have 60 conversations a week. And my plan, if I write the plan, will that plan really yield me 60 conversations a week? And you need to be really honest with the mirror on that to make sure that it does, right? Because if you write a plan that says I need 60 conversations a week, so that's 240 conversations a month for round number's sake, and you write a plan that says, well, I'm going to do 1 open house a month and I'm going to text 10 people a day, is that going to get you there? Probably not. So that's the pieces that I want you to be really honest with yourselves, both will I really do it? And will this really get me where I want to go? Okay. Questions? No? Hey, Charles.
Yes,
Come on up.
coming. I'm picking on
Oh.
Mara real quick. but
You what?
I'm picking on Mara via text. Yeah, I just texted you.
Well, get her.
Yeah, I'll put it out to the group now. I just asked if you just pulled out a stack of McDonald's napkins from your purse. Hmm. They were
Is she saying senior night as in a high school senior or that she's now a senior? In my world, it could be either one, right? All right. So Charles,
Yes.
do you use a GPS? Well, actually, I already said that you do.
Yeah.
You use a few of them. Tell us, what are your best practices around your GPS?
Well, I think that you got to be in a relationship with it, and I'm going to age some people, and I apologize for that. And I'm going to age them on both sides. I'm going to have people that know what I'm talking about. People look at us like we're crazy. But who's ever balanced a checkbook? Right. Right. And so when we go through and we do this, you got to be in relationship with your money. You have to know what the money in and the money out is and why. Why do you balance? Well, I don't know why you do it still, but why did you used to do it?
Make sure that the right amount is
Yeah.
the right checks.
Yeah. You don't know where you are and you don't know where you're going unless you have a relationship with it. And I think that's probably the biggest thing is that we need to go through and we need to say, like, this is what we're doing. This is why this is important to me. That's why Margaret said, like, don't write down garbage that you're not going to do. If you're not going to do it, don't write it down because it sounds good. Like, there's a lot of things that sound good and it doesn't matter. Like, if you're not going to do it, just forget about it. And yet, when we go through and we say, this is what I'm going to do to hit my goals because this is why my goals are important. This is the life that I get to live once I hit my goals. Then we actually get to look at it and say, okay, well, I did this week. I did this month. And I get to say, did I get closer to hitting my goals? Or am I still far away? And then we get to decide, is it a skill issue? Do I need to go to script practice or do I need to do something? Or is it because I'm really not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And so we need to be checking in with our goals constantly. Aaron and I, we look at goals weekly, monthly, quarterly, depending on what they are. And sometimes they're not fun to look at. And I think that's why a lot of us don't do it, is because we put it on paper and we look back at it and we say, this super sucks. Because we're looking at our results and our results aren't what we want them to be, but we have to be realistic with them. So weekly, monthly, and quarterly.
And I don't know the answer to this, and I'm making up numbers, okay, because I really don't know. So Charles, let's pretend that one of your long-term goals for you and Aaron
Yeah.
is that you got $2 million cash in the bank. I don't know if that's real or not real. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
When you guys are sitting down weekly or monthly, either individually or together, and you look in the bank account, are you focused on, oh my God, we're still 800,000 away from the big goal of 2 million? Or are you breaking it down saying, okay, the long-term goal is 2 million and we want to be there in 5 years. And so by the end of this year, we need to be at, fill in the number here. And we're in October and we're like right here, or we're above it, or we're below. Like, are you breaking that longer term, that big, 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 scary rock?
Yeah.
Are you breaking it down into something that's more measurable and actionable and that you're moving things forward?
100%. I think we dive down a little bit deeper in that scenario. I mean, we're going to go through our expenses and we're going to go chunk down the expenses. So we're going to say this was health related, this was food related, this was fun. And we actually go through and we look at all the expenses and where they came from. And then we take it even further. We say, can this be a business write-off? Can this be whatever? But yes, in that scenario, absolutely. We don't look to see how far away we are. We look to see what is driving that.
Okay. So your goals, all of you at the business planning clinic last week or 2 weeks ago now, set a goal that is an income goal for 2026. True? Okay. And in that, we came up with X number of transactions closed. Was that not a piece of it? If you only focus on how many transactions do I need to close, you would be like Charles and Aaron, only looking at the $2 million. Which is why we're going to take those goals and knowing what are the activities that we need to do, that if we do them, we know that will result in those particular results, right? Charles knows if he skips Starbucks every day and drinks the coffee here at the office, it saves $10 a day. So therefore, that's going to lead to increasing and gaining you towards the $2 million.
You know, it's so funny that you say that. I think the people that have Starbucks on a daily basis, there's no judgment in this statement, Sherry. But yeah, I think that they're either really, really wealthy or they got a lot of credit card debt. Like that's the only two people that can have. Like Like that's it. Like I live here. I do get Starbucks K cups. But I think that like if I see someone with the white cup or the iPhone that's not in the case, I'm like, they're making it. Doing really well.
I love that.
Are you still, all right, good deal.
So does that make sense to you guys? I don't want you focusing on the end goal of the results, right? The 10 closings, or the 12 closings, or the 4 closings, whatever your numbers are. If you focus on that, here's what else happens. January, oh, 12 closings, I got 11 more months. April, 12 closings, I still got time. June, I can do it, I just need 2 a month. And then you get to October and you go, holy garbage. I ran out of time, I give up.
Well, good thing business planning clinic's right around the corner. We'll do it again.
We'll do it again, right? And so here's the thing. If that's what you're focused on, you always think you have too far to go. And then you get to the end and you're like going, I can't recover. Okay? But let's say that, I'm going to use Ryan's numbers because they're fresh in my mind from this morning, is that his goal is 60 conversations a week. Okay? Totally achievable. Totally achievable with the right plan and the right intentionality. So he starts next week and he goes, okay, I'm going to do 60. He sits down on Sunday and looks back at how he did the week before and he did 50. Does he still have time to make up the 10? Say yes. Right? All he has to do is 70 that week. And as long as he can make that up, then he's back on his track. Right? But if he goes all the way till June and he's 10 conversations or more short every week, all of a sudden he can't recover. So this is why measuring those small incremental steps that will get you there is what the key is. Has anybody ever tried to lose or gain weight? I guess we're the only two, Charles. Okay. So I know in trying to lose weight that if I don't drink chocolate shakes every day, it was a special treat today. I know. But I know that if I monitor what goes into my mouth and the work that my body does, and I monitor just that, will I lose weight?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what your business is, right? Is to monitor those very specific activities. So questions beyond the goals and some of the best practices around working with it. Any questions online? Okay, so we're going to hand out a copy of a GPS. We will also email these if you guys want to share these to the back. I'm going to keep one. If you'll share these, we'll send this out online because the online version of this, you can literally type in it and it's live, okay? But I wanted something that you guys have here, and we'll get that out. So when I look at this, and I know it says productivity coaching, not all of you are in coaching, and that's okay. But this is what we use in the coaching program. It's pretty much identical to what we use as a leadership team. By the way, Charles has a GPS for the Market Center. I have a GPS for the coaching program. Elizabeth has a GPS for the MCA role. You have a specific one just for the team leader role. And all of our separate GPSs roll up to the Market Center one in support of what the goals and priorities were of the Market Center. We each have roles on that. And I'll just tell you, he makes us look at it at least once a month. He pulls it up and he goes, where are we doing? And are we 100% on everything? No, right? No. And yet it's okay because it helps us identify those things that maybe we need to put a little extra focus on, or maybe we get to the middle of the year and go, yeah, that was lofty. Let's change that. So at least we can put something in there that'll make a difference.
So don't that look good at the time we wrote it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, so I would like to, I'm going to have Charles lead this part. I would like to just brainstorm with you guys. I mean, I don't know which of these markers are going to work, so I'll grab 2 or 3 of them. But can we brainstorm around the priorities, the P, the GP? So priorities are not those, I need to talk to 60 people a week, right? These are not the, I need to host a portraits in the park for my sphere, right? These are higher level, right? What are the focus groups of where you're going to go? And so I'm going to I'm not going to give examples because when I give examples, that's what you always want to do. However, there are enough of you sitting in this room and probably on Zoom that have done at least one GPS exercise with me as part of coaching, if not 2, 3, or 8. So give me some ideas of some priorities that we might put into our businesses.
Not everyone at once. Sherry Mara, what's one priority that's in your business? Move the needle in 2026. Sphere of influence. Cool, Elena.
So geofarming, okay.
Cool. Cool. Kathy Peterson, thought she wasn't getting called on. Oh, tennis. Yeah, she's doing tennis.
Okay, so that would be demographic farming.
Yep. Open houses.
There we go. Here we go.
What else? Social media.
Now, can I say something about social media?
No, you said you weren't going to.
Then I'm going to put an asterisk beside it.
That's all right. You're just the writer. What else? Come on. There's got to be something else that you guys have thought about that you're going to put into your business and focus on it to get sales. Unless you're saying this is it, which is okay. I mean,
Or maybe it's something that you've thought about or you've heard somebody say and you don't know what it means, but you're at least curious. Cold calling where? Buyers.
You're curious about cold calling expired?
Yeah.
What is it? First, oh, handwritten notes to who? All right, I'd say that's more sphere of influence, but yes, I think that'd be a strategy
I
for
think that's a
priority.
strategy, and it could be a strategy in a couple of these ones.
Yep,
but
absolutely. What else?
Events.
Okay. Okay, so who are you inviting to the events? Okay,
Okay.
so that would
works.
be a strategy versus a priority.
Which is okay. What else?
I had that thingy.
Radio, TV.
Ooh. Okay. How about billboards too? Can we put that on there?
Adopt a highway.
Radio and TV. Okay.
What else? And this is okay. Is this, I mean, when you guys are looking at this list outside of Margaret's asterisk, is this where you guys want to live? Or is there something else? Because I think if we're going to just live on a short list, it might be easier. But is there anything that you guys have been thinking about? Or are these 3 things that you guys are all committed to hitting your goals in 2026? At least 3 of these things on here.
So I added FSBOs.
Mm-hmm.
I think FSBOs have a very interesting dynamic in our current market.
Yeah. I think expireds do. January 1. It's gonna be gangbusters.
FSBOs, man, it went here and went screaming out. Oh, how did you used to do something? It was
Paid ads.
paid leads. You can play a company like Pillow with a Z, and companies like that to give you online leads.
Yeah.
You can.
Anything else, guys? Give us more to what is an investor? Like, I feel like that would be more of like your demographic farm. Yeah, I mean, you're going after investors, their demographic. Yeah.
So geofarming is that you're working to become a known name in a specific geographical area, like Spring Mesa, your home neighborhood, Applewood, Allendale, wherever you live, right? Demographic farming is you're focused on a certain type of person. Okay, that could be, maybe it's first-time homebuyers, maybe it's investors,
Senior night.
maybe
The
it's
older ones, though.
yes, right? Maybe you're focused on probate, right? Maybe you're focused on our senior community as they're downsizing and moving into the retirement centers, right? Maybe you're focused on our veteran community, right? We've got people in the market center who focus on serving the veterans and they build an entire program around that, right? So that's the difference between geo and demo. Okay,
Anything else?
pretty good list,
I think
Charles.
it's a solid list.
Now, can I talk about my asterisk?
Good. Do you guys want to hear talk about our asterisk? Okay, yes.
Okay, so when I think about priorities, it is who's the big target? Okay. In my brain, social media can be used either as a priority, meaning I'm using social media strictly for the purpose of finding people I don't know today. You do that very well for the real estate school with your Instagrams. Okay. Your focus on social media is not to enhance a relationship you currently have, but it's to find new people. That is when social media is a priority. But most of the time, when you guys say social media, you mean reinforcing a relationship with someone I already have, which now makes it a strategy under either your sphere or one of these farming. Does that make sense to you guys? So when you talk about social media, when you're putting it on your GPS, our first question is, so what does that mean? Right? Is it your main strategy, or is it, or your main priority, or is it a strategy underneath? Because if you make it a priority, then what are you going to do under it?
What are your action items?
What are the action items that go under it? And many times when you all say social media, you mean that's the action. Make sense?
And so let's give an example of that, right? Like you might say that, hey, I want to do, geographical farming, and you might run a paid Facebook ad, right? You might run a paid ad that's out there. But then you might say, my sphere of influence, and I might want to go through and I might want to live on social media and do a DTD2 where every week I'm reaching out to my database through social media, right? So depending on what we're doing is where we're going to layer it. Or I might say just social media, and then I would come up with 5 different bullet points. So I'd have the ad as one of them. I would have DTD2 as one of them. I would have create a Facebook group as one of them, right? And then it starts getting more enhanced. So that's why we have to look at it. We're saying, do we just want to enhance one of these levers? Or do we want social media to be its own lever, and then we have the bullet points underneath it? And there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just how do you want to focus on it?
And the reason we drive that home is so that you're building a plan that 10 months into October of next year, we know that it worked.
Yeah.
Right? It's very easy to get very fluffy bunny in this environment with yourselves. And as a coach, I've learned how to see through that a little bit harder lately, right? Right? I'm going to start challenging them more, because that way we know that we've got action items that are actually going to move the needle and not just sound pretty.
Yeah, and I would say you got to prove it, right? Like you're going to go through and you're going to say, I'm putting social media as my priority. And one of those strategies under that priority is going to be do like the 5-5-5 or whatever number you want to do, where I'm going to like 5 posts. I'm going to comment on 5 posts. I'm going to slide into 5 DMs in a professional manner. And where we go through, like, are you tracking that you're actually doing it? And how are you tracking it? Like, can you prove that you went through and you did 5? Because then we're going to get to Q2 and you're going to be sitting down with your coach and your coach is going to say, how's everything going? You're going to say, life sucks. Hopefully that's not the case with anyone in this room, but you're like, I'm not hitting my goals. And she's going to say, show me your GPS. And you're going to pull out your GPS and she's going to say, awesome. Tell me about this 5-5-5. And you're going to say, well, it's not working. And she's going to say, awesome. Can you show me how you're tracking it? And you're going to say, well, I haven't tracked it. Then how do we say that it's a skill issue, or if it's a will issue where you're willfully not doing it? And that's the whole point of this, is to be able to go through and inspect what we expect from our priorities.
Love it. All right. Questions so far? Huh? Fluffy Bunny says, I'm going to do the 5-5-5, and you're never going to. Right? You say, I'm going to call 10 people a day, and yet the phone is 1,000 pounds and you won't call one person.
Elena puts expires on her GPS, and we know that
Yeah, that would be a Fluffy Bunny.
That ain't ever going to happen.
Did that help answer your question? And we want it to be really specific, right? Like you might have open houses And so you go, okay, that's it. Open houses are my thing. And I'll go, and that's probably one that we'll end up driving down into. But my question is, how many are you going to host? What's your developed follow-up plan? What happens at the open house? How many signs are you going to put out? What's your pre-marketing plan? Are you door knocking the neighborhood, inviting the neighbors? Are you putting it on social media? Like, if you just say, I'm just going to do 2 open houses a week, I'm going to go, okay, so what? But what are you specifically going to do under open house?
Bless you.
Right? Because it sounds good to say I'm going to do open houses. And I think that I can, I look at the number of open house opportunities that I see in our market center lately and how many of them go unfilled. And yet knowing how many GPSs say open houses, I have to question, are we really focused on them?
Well, because here's the deal. Who has ever had a job? All
With a
right.
boss?
Yeah, who's ever had a boss? Okay, cool. So outside of my remote workers, who had a place where they had to be 40 hours a week? Why is this any different? Why is this any different? If we were to go through and we're going to say, hey, your goals are important to you because you either want to buy a house or you want to buy a car or you want to put your kids through college or you want to get out of your second career right now because it sucks. Well, then what are we doing about it outside of sitting down and putting together a GPS? And again, there's no judgment in that. But at the end of the day, like, we'll talk to agents and they're like, I'm going to do open houses. And then you're like, awesome. How many open houses did you do this month? And you're like, none, because I wanted the weekends to myself. And it's like, awesome. What about Monday through Friday?
Well, nobody comes to open houses that time. That's what I believe.
Right. And here's the deal, guys. We
Not
don't know
true.
what people's motivating factors are. That's why we email them, we text them, we call them, we DM them, we do all these different things because we don't know where they are in that moment and how close they are to the proximity of raising their hand to say, I want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And so if you're going to say open houses, like do some open houses. There's way too many. You guys are in the perfect environment to do open houses right now. They're not selling in a weekend. 2021, there was no point to do an open house. There's no point to actually sign up for an open house because the listing agent was going to call you and say, we already got 5 offers. We're not having one. The seller wants to stay home today. But now they're staying on the market for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I would set up shop. If I'm going to say open houses are a priority to me, I'm going to do 2, 3 open houses Monday through Sunday, pick where they are and just do it. And just treat it as an office, 4 hours, go find a vacant property, go find a property where you can just set up shop, record content, go hit the other 2 priorities out of your GPS while in your office, treat it as an office, farm the people as they come through, wave to the neighbors, have some conversations, just like it's a new build.
Mm-hmm. Woo! How many of you wanted to say preach? Okay, we have passion around this, right?
We want you to succeed.
That is bingo. We want you to succeed. Okay, just like you want your kids to succeed, you want your spouses, your family. We want every single one of you to be asked to speak at family reunion or mega camp. We want every single one of you to hit whatever goal you have and to not sit and go, well, I got close.
And it can be one deal.
Absolutely.
If your goal is to only hit one deal, rock and roll. There's no judgment in that. If your deal is to hit one deal a week, let's do it. But it's your goal, what's important to you, what you're willing to work on. So if you're saying, and Margaret's going to tell you to double it. I already know it's coming, so I already spoiled it.
That was 2 weeks ago. That party's over.
But when we go through and we look at this, like if your thing is to do like 15 deals this year, 12 deals this year, then put it down there. If you're sitting next to your neighbor and you look and you peek on their paper and they have 20, you're like, 22. If that doesn't motivate you, don't do it, right? Like just put what's important to you on this paper, and then we're gonna inspect what we expect. We're gonna go back to, we're gonna look at it.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this, Charles, the people that today that I've met with, that we've looked at what they did at the business planning clinic, the goals are achievable.
Yeah.
They're achievable for where every single one of them is in life, and that makes me very proud that we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish that Friday. But now it's taking it to the next step again. And why do we write across the top of the goal sheet? The why? Because at the end of the day, the number's just a number. If you wrote down, I want to net 100, and I had one this morning, Well, I made my goal 105 because you gave the example of 100. I didn't want to just copy your
I
name.
didn't want to be that agent.
So that's fine, right? If your goal is $105,000, but if that's just a number to you, it means nothing. And at the end of the year, when you don't make it, you won't care. And I have seen it year after year. I've been coaching. Next year will be my 9th year in coaching. So I know what happens. Okay. But if you say that $105,000 means that X can happen for me or even more my family, and I'm going to go to Charles's Y, which is about the nieces and the nephews. If that 105,000, if you hit that number, means that you can fund X for your niece and nephews, that is going to drive you more because you don't need the 105 to feed your family. You probably need less than that.
Rock and roll.
Right? So as long as Charles is getting fed, he doesn't care.
And I eat a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take 105 to feed you. Right? But that extra amount means something that's too clear to his heart. Right? Whether it's to pay off bill, fund your kids' college, take them to Disney World, take your entire family on a month-long European vacation, whatever it is, make it mean something. And oh, by the way, if you don't hit your goal, you don't get it.
0 credit card debt, pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has hit that or lives that, but I remember the first time being able to go to 0 credit card debt. I also remember having to pay the IRS $15,000.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, right. So when we go through and we get to think about what these things do, right? Everyone's like, I wish I had that problem, right? This year will be more. This year I'm really not looking forward to how much I owe the IRS. But when we go through and we do these different things, guys, like this is the important thing. I don't say like I get to pay the IRS all this money, but money's good for the good that money can do. And your lives start to change when you start realizing that your goals are achievable and we start putting the plans in place to go hit them. Guys, it's fun. It really is. And the moment that maybe it's quitting the second job, maybe it is retiring a spouse, maybe it is buying the first investment property, maybe it's buying the first property, maybe it's paying off the car, right? Like whatever that is, it could be small, it could be huge. You could say that this is my first milestone. By the end of the year, I want it to be this. Whatever drives you, rock and roll.
Yep. So for those of you that are here in the room, take that piece of paper I gave you, that GPS diagram, and you all have your goals. I think 90% of you do. I want you to write across the top, what was your goal from the business planning clinic and the why behind it. So Charles is going to give us an example. Oh, good. He's tall. He can reach up that high.
I felt that was appropriate, yeah. I'm just going to say the goal, right? So it's, well, I'm just going to put 100K, right? So we're going to say by December 31st. I don't even know if that's the right date. What's the right date for the end of the year next year?
Let's make it December 15th so people can take off for the holidays.
Perfect. By December 15th, 2026, hit $100,000 in net GCI.
So it'd be net income.
Net commission income, right? So that means after I pay taxes, I get to and pay all my fees, right? We went to business planning clinic. We already did all this with Margaret 2 weeks ago. And so now you're saying after all that's paid, I want to put $100,000 in my pocket. Now you're going to have expenses, right? You're probably not going to look like that at the end of the year. So by December 15th, 2026, hit $100,000 in net gross commission income. We're putting the SMART goals, right? So we got to think about when are we doing this? A lot of people will put the 31st. Well, Margaret and I have done this once or twice before. We know sometimes the 31st is a Sunday. Can anyone tell me if the title company is open on Sunday? Yeah, so how are we going to hit that? If we're going to wait all the way to that last Sunday of the year, we're going to miss our goal.
Well, and half of them close on the 31st, even if it is during the week, because it's New Year's Eve.
Right. So we go through and look at the date. We put the 15th just because Margaret's like, I want to take the last 2 weeks off, which rock and roll.
Most of you do anyway.
Right. If it's December 1, put December 1. There's no judgment on how we do this. If you want to work, the 4-week work year or whatever in the world that is, right? Like put whatever makes the most sense. And then it's gross or net. Put your dollar amount, put your insert whatever your goal is. Does everyone have it?
And then why? What does that do for me, Charles?
What does this do for you?
Just make up a result. So when I do that, I will be 100% debt-free. That's a good one.
0 credit card debt. Guys, I would say like the house debt's probably fairly unrealistic. I think credit card's doable. I think your car's doable. I mean, car payments super suck. I don't know which one's worse, credit card or car. We could take a poll on it later. But yeah, like, right, we're gonna go through debt-free, 0 credit card debt. And again, that's all gonna happen by, we could put December 17th. We wanna make sure we get all that money before we go and send it off.
Mhm. All right, questions? Everybody got that done? Okay. So now we're going to start, we got some priority ideas for you guys, right? And so as you look at those, maybe on the back to start, or maybe you know definitely one for sure, but start identifying which of those priorities, maybe the top, 3, maybe you do 4, that you go, I have an interest in these. Not necessarily, these are definitely the ones I'm going to do, but of those priority ideas that we provided, which ones are you interested in? And just write those on the back of your sheet, or like for those, some of you that have, this isn't your first rodeo doing this with us, and you already know Sphere is going to be one, and open houses, and put them on there. But if you don't know, then flip over your sheet and go, I'm interested in Sphere, I'm interested in geofarming, I'm interested in expireds and FSBOs, whatever it is, just write down what you're interested in.
And the reason why we're saying interested is because of this, guys, because if we look at it, we can say, you know what, I could probably move the needle more on this, and that's gonna be the focus. The other thing could be in the background and we'll trip over it, but this is your focus. This is your one page to look at and say, am I on track to hit my goals? Am I doing everything that I said was important to me? I'm spending an hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't know how long we're in here. And
2 hours today.
was it worth it? What was the point, right? We need to be learning for earning's sake, not learning for learning's sake. So if we're putting it on the paper now, it's to guide us for the rest of the 2026.
Right. Are you here to move your business or just to be entertained? Because
And
we are funny.
We try to entertain, yeah.
All right, y'all got them? How are we doing in Zoom land? I don't even know if we have Zoom, but,
I keep wanting to ask you why you're here today.
Okay.
I know why.
huh? Okay,
Mara made you come.
so y'all got something you're interested in the back? Or maybe you just went for it on the top front page and you got your 2 to 3? Okay,
McDonald's napkin.
so now let's pick one. Spill that water, at least you got the napkins in your purse.
Mhm.
Okay, so I didn't like how that green came out. All right, so would you guys like to take one of these and brainstorm about some ideas that might support it? Yes? Which one? All right, sphere of influence. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh wait, where's my cheat sheet? We might have done these a few times in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you selected sphere of influence, which by the way, in interviewing the top producing agents, what Gary and Jay have learned is that sphere of influence is by far one of the top income producing lead generation methods. Because guess what? They already know you. I was literally speaking with one of our newest agents this morning, and directly out of her sphere, she already has 2 buyers. Okay, so we know sphere works, right? And as I look around the room, right? So I'm going to pick on the experienced ones. So I'm going right back in that corner. They're all hiding back there.
Sherry it is. All right, Sherry one.
Okay, Sherry, what is your #1 lead generation source in your business? Because we deep dove into that the other day.
Social media. Oh, wait, wow, sorry.
Sphere of influence is the answer.
Okay, but that wasn't my question. So Mara, since I think you were with me, when we look back at your business this year, what was the #1 source that you guys got your business from this year?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
You
you.
happen to live in your geo farm, but it was your sphere of influence. Okay, Elena? Your sphere? Stacy? I almost called you Tracy. Stacy, Tracy, it all sounds the same. Stacy, sphere of influence, right? You've got
Welcome back to class.
individuals, yeah, it's been 2 weeks. 4 individuals all in the top 20% in our market center. What did they reoccurringly theme do? Sphere of influence.
Well, can you clean that up a little bit? So
Sure.
what is sphere of influence? So I think there's some people that are just like, well, I just moved here and I don't have a lot of people in my ecosystem. Like, what does sphere of influence look like to you?
Sphere of influence is someone that already knows you, loves you, and trusts you, and they would recognize you in the grocery store.
Where could those people show up? Like right now, we got dual career people. We got a lot of different new agents.
Yep.
Who is that?
So that can be, it could be your next door neighbors. It can be your coworkers at your other job. It could be past coworkers from a past career. It could be people that you do social activities with. Maybe you're a tennis player or a pickleball player or a bowler.
Your family?
It can be your family. It can be your college roommate. It can be anyone that would recognize you that you've had some form of relationship with. Okay? And they do not have to be local, because there is this beautiful thing in our industry called referrals.
Mailbox money.
Mailbox money, or it's a gift and I get to return the mailbox money. What does that mean? So I do have to tell this story. So you guys will remember at the business planning clinic, Charles was giving me a hard time, and I said, don't worry, Charles, I'll get my bold 100 in at my daughter's wedding. I found 5 pieces of business at that wedding.
Wedding paid for.
None of it is local. There's a Nebraska, a Lubbock, Texas, 2 in South Carolina, and 1 in Wisconsin.
Never mind. Wedding not paid for. Halfway there.
Yeah, because some of those price points are pretty sucky. Like the house in Nebraska won't even be 3 digits.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like under 100 grand. But it doesn't matter. I'm not caught up on that, right? It's about helping other people in other areas. And when I refer those people to agents that are in those areas like York, Nebraska, or Lubbock, Texas, the agent that I refer them to, we're going to start a relationship. And then when they have somebody coming here, guess who they're going to call? And we just had that happen as well.
Which is kind of neat. So I almost just feel like when you said referrals and mailbox money, it's almost like I'm creating my sphere of influence. Maybe I don't have one, but I'm going to be purposeful about creating a sphere of influence. Right? So if you guys are going through and you're like, yeah, that'd be cool to like go out and get some agents. Like we see agent newsletters come out. We see all kinds of other stuff. So like, how can we go through and gamify it and start adding people to it, even just passively that way?
Agent to agent referrals was part of our GPS for 2025 in my personal business. Now, did we execute it on the way we planned? No, things happened, but it was there and we started and we learned a bunch of stuff. So if we choose to push into that harder this year, we learned some things last year that we can fix this year.
Who has seen in our Facebook group where someone goes up and says, who has a great referral partner in this area? Well, where do you think that came from? They did a deal with them somewhere. And so you do a deal with someone in a different state, in a different city, and one of their people says, well, you guys know in Denver, Colorado, they're going to say, reach out to so-and-so. They're awesome.
Do you travel? Or do you just stay in Denver, Colorado and never leave the city limits?
I stay in Arvada.
Yeah, I know, except once a year. Okay, so we travel, right? Do you travel into areas where there's a real estate office, Keller Williams or not? Most of the time? You ever walked in? Why not? Chicken.
That's for a tour.
Yeah, walk in, introduce yourself. Hey. You never know what's going to happen.
It doesn't need to be KW specific.
Well, and that was exactly what it's going to say. And I did. I said, it doesn't matter if it's KW or not. There are actually agents in our company, not this one, not this market center, that have walked into an independent brokerage in another part of the world, had a conversation with the person who owned that individual brokerage, who then became the driving force to join Keller Williams. And now that particular person who was on vacation now owns all of South America from a profit share perspective.
And yet that was never the point.
And that was never the point. It was just to go in and say hi.
Guys, it's just activities. We're being activities based. That's all we're doing. We're not getting tied to the results. The results will come, right? Through our activities. That's why we're putting this on paper. And I know that we're harping probably a lot on mindset right now, but we think it's important, right? Because how we show up today in this class on this piece of paper is going to set the tone for the rest of 2026.
Yep. If you only focus on the end result of the closing and the paycheck, which trust me, the paychecks are very important, right? We need to feed our families. We need to house our families. As I was telling people at this last weekend, my credit card right now, if it was still the old ones that were raised and they ran it across like this, it would be flat right now, right? Because it got used a little bit, right? No matter what, the money, we need money to survive, right? And then we need to go out and do bigger things into the world and impact other lives, right? But if you're only focused on the money, you get what's called commission breath. And it's the worst bad breath in the world. People can smell it a mile away, right? But if you're focused on serving people and helping them and giving them knowledge and information, the magic will happen and you'll have more money than you know what to do with. But if you're focused on, I got to get a deal, I got to get a deal. And I know I'm looking in this room, and for some of you, you need that deal. You want that deal. You want that first deal because you know that that's why you're here. But the reality is, if you're only focused on, I just got to get the deal, you're going to turn people off. I've been that agent. Okay. It's a natural thing to have happen. It will happen. If it hasn't happened in your career, it will. But be aware of it. If you focus on the individual and serving them, and following through on that plan. If we build your plan right, we're going to get there. Elena will tell you the things that changed when she went and we got really laser focused on your GPS 3 years ago. And that girl, every time, like it'd be the beginning of the quarter and in comes a piece of paper. Okay, I followed my plan, or I'll hear her on the phone and she'll say, okay, my plan says I need to make sure I get my newsletter out this week, or my plan says this. Number 2 agent in the market center for 2024, sitting right there. So we know it works. Okay, getting it? Are we hearing you? We need to bring out the hammer anymore?
Yeah. Get off of your pedestal, both of you.
We care. That's what I want you to take away. All right, should we get tactical? We got an hour, we can have some fun. You ready to have some fun? All right, so we're gonna do sphere of influence. So right now, put your pens down. I don't want you writing. I just want you to brainstorm and use your brains. Okay, just throw out ideas of things you can do in your sphere that maybe generate and enhance. So when we think about sphere, it's about enhancing the relationship with people you already have a relationship with and making sure they remember you're in real estate. Okay, so you don't ever want to see your friend list their house, and when you call them, they go, oh, I didn't think you were in real estate anymore.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Then you got burned down their house.
Yeah, that would be one way. Okay, so start throwing them out. Charles is going to write fast. Okay, so DTD2 is the system. So you're going to call people. How many times a year? So 4 phone calls a year to your sphere, utilizing DTD2. DTD2, not the little computer from Star Wars, that's R2D2. DTD2 is do the database 2, which it's 2 letters every week.
Which
Okay.
is 26 letters in the alphabet.
13 weeks in a quarter.
4 times a year.
Okay. All right. Love that one. So
What else we got?
cue the music, Stacy. No, I'm kidding. They're going to do direct mailing of postcards. How often? So you're doing 1 direct mail a quarter. Okay. Love that. I'm just going to put a caveat on that, is that if we're using a true 36 touch, which is a system we teach, you would do 12 mailings a year. Now, you could do 1 postcard a quarter. And then what do you send on a quarterly basis? Direct mail. So you could combine your mailings from postcards. You can do newsletters that are direct mail.
Well, I do want to touch on that though.
Okay.
What, I mean, we're talking about sphere of influence. We're saying the sphere of influence is important to us. Enough people voted, right? Limited democracy. And we're said, I would send this out if I had all of their addresses. Well, how do we fix that? There's no right or wrong way. I'm just asking you guys, like, if we're saying that I'm going to work on my database, I know I need their name, first and last, their phone number, their email, their home address, hopefully some birthdays, right? Home anniversary, treat them all as orphan clients, like their real estate agent forgot all about them and now they're my client, right? So guys, if we're saying I don't have all my people's addresses right now, I am missing information from my database. I said this was my most important lever to pull to reach my goals. We're in the season of renewal right now. We have Halloween coming up. We have Thanksgiving. We have Christmas. We have Hanukkah. We have New Year's. We have reasons to reach out to people. How are you doing? Wanted to put you on my gratitude list this year. Wanted to get super purposeful about sending out some handwritten notes, and I thought about you, but guess what? I don't have your home address. What is it?
So, oh, that's a spam call. Just, yeah, tap it off.
Margaret's phone. No.
No, I don't want insurance. I don't need your loan. I don't need a home warranty. And my car's just fine. So maybe one of the tactics under your sphere is to, as you're making those calls quarterly, is updating information so that 90% or 100% of your database has all of the critical information. Name, email, phone, mailing address, date of birth. That could be a tactic, right? Many of you, Elizabeth does a beautiful job of helping you take your phone and uploading into Command. True? Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess what? How many of you put addresses, emails, and birthdays in your phone when you put somebody's contact in your phone?
Yeah.
It's okay, none of you. We're all the same. So right now you have a database of phone numbers. Basically, you have a yellow pages.
So and so from the bar.
Yes.
Right.
Because I always write where I met them, because otherwise I get confused. The agents from out of town, I write where they're from, right? So now you can get super purposeful on updating all of that information. So that might be a strategy under the priority of your sphere of influence of filling in your missing gaps of data. Thanks, Charles, for calling that out.
On my list. Okay.
Oh, are you adding without them talking?
No, I just was going to get in trouble because I got more specific with that one.
That's okay. The more specific you are, the better. Can you read it to us though? Because you write so small, I can't read it.
I said get full database info by Q1, which I know we're going to turn into the strategy as we're doing this.
Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, that would be a very specific strategy. You go through between now and the end of Q1 to update all of that information.
And does anyone believe that would move the needle? So let's just say I hit that one strategy and I hit it by Q1 and obviously it's done for the rest of the year, right? Q2, Q3, Q4, we're not going to do it. It's already done. But do we all feel like if we were to do this by Q1 in the first 3 months of the year, that it would actually move the needle in our business? Let's bang that.
Stacy.
Their mailing address, and newsletters, and I really invite them to the events, and
Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
All right, what else? Say what? How many a year? How many? Nope, how many? Give me a number, 3 or 4? 3.
4 it is. I love it.
Okay, so you're gonna host, Elena said 3, I'm gonna honor that. So she said 3 events. So my next question is, what are you gonna host? Okay, so you gotta be super specific, right? Are you going to have an event the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or fourth quarter?
And can I piggyback on someone else's? Once I don't want to do my own event, maybe that's too daunting for me. Would it be okay if I partner with a different charitable organization or something else going on?
Yeah, like what, Charles?
I mean, what about with the food drive? Right, we got a food drive going on. Did anybody put the food drive on themselves?
We're going to.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back.
What about going through and partnering with the Children's Hospital and doing the toys for the kids this year? Right, like here's the thing, guys. I think we get to this point where we're like, oh my God, I got to do this big thing. No, you just have to be the conduit for it. Right, like go find something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's the animal shelter. Maybe it's something. Figure out what they're doing and do a big event around that with your people.
So There's this other big event. It's the second Saturday in December. We call it Breakfast with Santa, although if you're on our mailing list, I changed the name and I rebrand it to Holiday Brunch. And it's in partnership with the Market Center. And yes, all of us agents are there. How many of you participated in it in past years? Do we steal each other's clients?
No, you're
No.
too busy with your own.
We're too busy with our own, right? We're making sure that the food doesn't disappear, right? Or all the things, right? So you can partner with the Market Center, who creates this environment that all you have to do is plug in, or partner up with 2 or 3 of you, right? What would it look like if Elena, Coachy, Karen, and Christy all decided to put together an event together? All of a sudden, the cost becomes more manageable. It's a lot more fun. The workload is divided against money because we all know more hands equals lighter work. And you're going to have more fun doing it, right? I know that we've hosted the last couple of years, we've done a National Ice Cream Day social in the park, right? And our turnout's been okay. Okay. But maybe what we should have been doing is we should have been combining with Sherry and Mara and done a bigger one, and then it would just have been more fun, and there would have been more people there, and my people wouldn't have known that that was Sherry and Mara's clients, or their clients wouldn't have known that our people were theirs. Would have been okay. So there's more than one way to do that, right? I love adding a charity to it. There was a speaker up at the summit. Some of you went to the summit. I don't remember if anybody in this room went to the events part of the summit, but his whole mantra was events with a purpose. And the purpose was tied to a charity. So I think about last spring, I texted Charles one day, I sent him a video of this silent auction. And he won 2 baskets because my daughter went through and just kept upping the bid. We knew how much.
What's my max?
Yeah, we knew how much of Charles's money we could spend, and so we spent it. And Jamie partnered with a dog rescue and did a bowling event. So the bowling alley was the place. They had the shoes, the balls, the equipment. The bowling alley does these events on a almost weekly basis. So they know what the parameters are and how to put this thing together. It was super reasonably priced. She did a silent auction, had a bunch of companies donate stuff. I think you and I both donated towards it. And it was a fabulous event. And because the nonprofit also advertised to their database, by the way, the nonprofit created all the marketing materials. All she had to do was put it on social media, hang up some flyers, and tell her people about it. Now she had all the people from the nonprofit that came to the event that registered for the big raffle item. Guess what all went into her database? I don't know.
Does that sound daunting to anybody? Does that sound like a big process? And it's okay, right? There's no judgment. Does that sound like a big process to actually go find the nonprofits and everything to go put together? No? Well, okay, cool. So let's just say, let's get a warm up, right? Maybe I'm not to that level yet. Maybe, right? So what would it look like to go through and to go to the city park and go pay the $50 permit fee, go send out to your entire database that, hey, we are going to do picnic in the park. I'm going to bring the games, bring your own food. I'll provide whatever. And then why don't you go reach out to one of your people that runs a photography company and figure out like how you can work out a deal to where you're getting some photos and they're going to get all the people's info and they get to build their book of business. And also, guess what? It's a free event, but you know what your price of admission is? 1 can of dog food. Everyone has to bring 1 can of dog food, come to the picnic in the park. We're going to have fun. We're going to have music. We're going to have games. We're going to do all this. And you know what you get to do? You get to put everything on social media. Everyone gets to see it. You get to create FOMO. Then you get to go through and you get to take every one of those cans, you get to go to the ASPCA and you get to go drop it off and you can say, this is what my team and my clients and my people did, right? And so we're just going through and we're getting a lot of different social media activity. And it's not for like, hey, look at me, but it's saying, hey, if you guys want to be a part of something bigger, this is what we do.
Yep. But finding partners, my point was finding partners who already know how.
Yep.
Right? If you have something that speaks to you, that's some kind of nonprofit, trust me, they do this on a regular basis and they will help you, right? And so it becomes a partnership. But again, you can keep it as small, right? You can lean into what the Market Center puts together. You can do all kinds of things. Leaning into helping Lantern Home Group with that food drive, huge, right? Because they've already created the flyers. All you got to do is change the branding in Canva, which I heard now you can do in Command, right? But change the branding and then send it out to your people. Put it on your social media. Hey, I'm collecting food for Arvada High School. We need to feed 150 families who aren't going to eat on Thanksgiving. Right? There are so many ways, big, small, and everything in between.
And you're not promoting Lantern Home Group. You're promoting yourself, right? Like they put it together and they went out and they found the organization to give all the food to, but it's your event. It's not theirs. So please don't hear we're pushing Lantern Home Group's event and you should be a part of it. No, you're pushing your own event and they already did the legwork. You just got to go find some people.
Yep. They already know what kind of food, they already know when it has to be delivered, all of the stuff, right? You guys starting to get excited? Some of you look scared.
What else?
What else? What are some other things I can do with my sphere?
Lunch.
Okay. How many? Once a month a coffee and once a month a lunch, or once a month either or? Okay. So one time a month, I'm going to go to coffee or lunch with somebody. Okay. You fill in the number. Okay. What else? What? Okay. So you're going to join a pickleball organization to meet more people because you need to grow your database. So maybe your strategy is I need to grow my database by 25 people by the end of the year. I need to add 25 more people to my database. Because in that exercise we did 2 Fridays ago, you realized that you don't have enough people in your world, so you want to add. So you're going to go play pickleball. How many times? 3 times a week, you're going to join a pickleball. Is it the same pickleball club, or are you going to go to 3 different pickleball clubs? No wrong answer. But do you see how I'm driving this down with her? Because to get super laser specific. Okay, so it might be I'm going to join 3 new pickleball clubs by the end of April.
And gamify it, right? How many of those am I going to put their people in my database? Right? So we got pickleball, we got wine tasting. We've been to events where we've gone through and someone said, I wanted to break into the luxury market. And the way I did that was I joined wine tasting groups. They're like affluent people like wine.
Gourmet cooking clubs.
Book clubs, Zumba, ETA. What? Zumba? What? No? Zumba? Zumba?
It's like a mahjong club.
What was that Billy whatever, Taibo?
Find things that you like to do or that you're interested in doing where other people do that as well.
But make sure you're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go to a networking event. Sounds awful to me. Sounds awful to go around and to walk around and grab drinks and start conversations with random people. But like, it's easy going and bowling and you're competing with 4 other people beside you and you get to be in conversation with them. Like, this is going to naturally happen. I don't have to go like approach some stranger. They're already trapped with me for a couple hours.
Right.
And the conversation is naturally going to happen.
And it may not even happen the first one. So some of you may have saw on Facebook, I locked myself out of my house a week and a half ago because both of the electronics failed, both the front door and the back door.
It's called replacing your batteries.
And figuring out why your garage remote reprogrammed itself.
Oh.
Anyway, there should be an alert on them that say your battery's dying. But now I have a lockbox on the side of my house that I will always be able to get in. Anyway, I went and joined a mahjong club, and the reason I didn't have my car remote is it was literally like a half a block away, so I walked. Otherwise, I would have never been locked out of my house. But I walked down. I didn't know there was one past client in the room. Other than that, I didn't know anybody. Now, what was interesting is the first night, I didn't walk up to everybody and go, hi, I'm Margaret, I'm a realtor. Hi, I'm Margaret, I'm a realtor. Hi. I just went in, right?
Bunko.
Huh?
Bunko.
Bunko, bingo, you pick it. Whatever your thing is. What's that game you guys play? Spades. Right? Whatever it
Like in
is.
prison.
I don't know. Maybe I should go play blackjack up in the mountains. Maybe I could meet people that way too.
I think you could.
Right? They might need to sell their house. Anyway, find things that speak to you that you like to do or truly have an interest in doing that you will push yourself outside of your comfort zone to go?
By yourself.
I did.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You could take a friend.
Like the little.
Why don't you just find like another entrepreneur and why don't, no, get off of that idea. No,
You can have a conversation at those tables,
No.
but that's not what I would do. That's
No.
kind of a joke. Please take that out of
No.
it.
Do not go to the casino and but here's the deal. We can tell you that there are agents that will go to the bar and like that is their lead generation is to go at the bar and post up and they do find clients.
Mhm.
It will work if you're purposeful about it.
Right.
But here's the deal. Like what would it look like to go find a couple friends that will always want to go, like it's football season right now, and go find a bar on a Sunday and go hang out and just keep inviting people.
Mhm.
Right? Like there's all things you can do, but you just have to want to do it. Like I'm probably not going to go wine tasting.
No. What did you do this summer? You took one of the ideas that I gave you and you did it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Your pub pass.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Art and I bought pub passes, sports, and then we said, let's go, just pick basically for Reese to go to, or for a pub pass where it was legit. We had a couple extra that we caught that off, and it's
Mhm.
just invited them.
Yeah.
Literally.
We're gonna be there from, 2 to 6.
Hmm?
2 to 5.
Come hang out with me. I stole this idea from an agent that I follow out of Fort Collins. And her partner had posted on social media, hey, we're gonna go hang out at this bar or this pub on Saturday, this date from 2 to 5. If you wanna see us, come hang out. And we're gonna go hang out at this pub on this weekend. But you can, it doesn't have to be a pub. It can be you, whatever your thing is. And they had the same experience that Karen and Arden had. And I remember when they did the first one, Karen says, well, I decided to do it with Arden because that way, if nobody shows up, at least Arden and I will have each other to talk to and I won't be sitting in the bar by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, that works, right? But guess what? They both had so many people show up. And then the next month, more people showed up and kept saying how fun it was, right? This other realtor that I know does what she calls Fire Pit Friday. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. And she will literally post on social that says, hey, Fire Pit Friday, BYOB, starts at 7. If you need the address, text me. And just creates an impromptu opportunity for friends and family to just pop in and hang out with you. And you guys, I've never heard of her sitting alone around her fire pit and having to talk to her husband. And Karen has never sat at the bar by herself. Okay? Not in this experiment, right? All I'm saying is find your thing and invite people to do it. Yes, Stacy.
Right? No. Yeah.
Hey,
That includes the coffee. You invite someone to the coffee date, you don't need to buy them the coffee.
A great place that, they have a lot of places like Golden Mill. It's huge, you could go anywhere, there's tons of spots, there's food. It flows really, so you walk, people come in, they art. That's where we did one of them. That wasn't one with art, but that was just getting a bunch of old people I used to work with together. And
Yeah.
they loved that they could come when they wanted, eat if they wanted, drink, it was all very clean, because that can be a hassle when you sit down, there's people at a table and.
Chaos.
Right, chaos. And
Freedom Street would be another great place to do something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. What else?
Everybody's brain's starting to go. Okay. What else?
We got calls. We're gonna do mail outs. We're gonna get the database because how are we gonna do any of this? Events. Atlanta 3 times a year. Coffee and lunch monthly. We're gonna join some kind of club, pickleball, wine tasting, book club, Zumba. PTA. What else we got?
Pop by? What is a pop by? Okay. That's a fun one. We did that one last year. Popeyes, they're surprise little tokens. Okay. And trust me, they don't have to be much, right? Halloween. Okay, go to the dollar store, get a little cellophane bag with pumpkins. I'll warn you, don't put ghosts and witches because some people don't like that, but pumpkins or fall leaves, put 2 or 3 pieces of chocolate and a little something in there that says thinking about you and hang it on their door. Pop-bys are really a lot of fun. There's Facebook groups out there that are pop-by related. You can look up and get ideas there. Pinterest, right? Google, you can find, I'll bet you Chat GPT could even come up with some great pop-by ideas.
You guys put into Etsy, there's tons of people selling it. You can just go steal, like just go take their ideas and run with it.
Okay, love that. How many pop-bys a year are you going to be doing?
It's on the record.
3 over the entire year. Okay, so 3 pop-bys. What's the timing of those pop-bys? Okay. Okay. Fall. And who are you going to send it to your entire database, or how many pop-bys are you going to be doing each of those times? 8. So you're sending it to your A's and VIPs. Okay. Yes,
So is that what I just heard? Did I just hear that I actually don't need to send it to everyone in my database? I can actually segment out my database even further then. And I can go A clients, B clients, C clients, or my people that I think are closer to moving that I know that are going to refer me business versus the people I'm trying to get back into relationship with. I don't have to treat them all the same.
Yeah. Didn't I see Brittany Heckenberg is teaching her class this month? Yeah, but it's a 70. Okay, so if you ever get the chance, and I do think I saw it on the calendar, Brittany's teaching her touch campaign that she does with her sphere. And she talks about how she segments her database between her VIPs, her A's, her B's, and her C's. And her top people get invited and loved on at a different level than those that are the C's. And why is that? Because the people that are at the top are the people that either have done business in the last, you fill out the time frame, I think hers is the last 24 months, or they have given her a referral in the last, you fill in the blank. And if they don't do the referral, they get knocked down and then they may not get invited to an event.
Including family, because she's done it.
She knocked her brother out of the list and he didn't get invited to something and he wanted to know why. And she said, because you didn't send me a referral last year. Because so all I have to do is send you a referral to get back? So there are different levels of your database, right? The people that are most supporting your business are the people you want to love on the most. Thank you. What else?
Friendsgiving.
I actually like that.
So you're going to host that event, a Friendsgiving event? Okay.
Then.
Yep. Love that. Okay.
It's a Thanksgiving time.
Yep. So that could be another, that could go in that event list, right? Okay. What else? I have one that's free. I'm just waiting to see if anybody has it.
Do we have a newsletter?
Well, we had direct as part of direct mail.
So unless you're just thinking like email newsletters.
Here we go. We're getting there. So we're going to email people, right? So if I go to a 36 touch, it's direct mail, which you already captured, calls that you already captured. Now I need to email them. So maybe I'm going to do 12 emails a year. Okay. And what could I do for email? Do I have to hand draft them every time? No, what can I do? I can use smart plans and command. Okay. And she mentioned monthly neighborhood nurture. So you're going to put everybody that's a homeowner that you have an email address for on a monthly neighborhood nurture plan. I will tell you guys, it's the one they open. Because I can see they open it because I see what houses they looked at in their own neighborhoods. Okay. There are other smart plans out there that you can choose from, right? I really like the Kimber Walton series, right? It's nine series of 3 months each, so I can set it, 27 months of emails go out, and I never have to touch them again. Monthly neighborhood nurture never ends unless they unsubscribe. So how many emails are you going to use? Okay. Again, by the end of the first quarter, you've gotten your database with all of that pertinent information, or at least 85% of your database to that level. And you start sending out the monthly neighborhood nurture once a month, and they start opening, are they going to forget you? No, and guess what? You just became their Zillow. Why do people go to Zillow?
For the Zestimate.
For their personal Zestimate, hold that thought, but why else? See what's happening in their neighborhood. So if you're spoon feeding it to them once a month, why do they ever have to go to Zillow again?
They'll probably just do both in all reality.
They might.
Yeah.
But if you make it easier for them, they may eventually forget.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Charles said something about the Zestimate. What's the value of their house? So now I have to ask because I can't remember. Does Command have the ability now where people can look at their estimate? Okay. So
there's an AVM attached to the monthly neighborhood nurture, but no, not really.
Okay. So you can do that. The other thing you can use, there's a tool that we use, and I don't know if any of my group over here does, but there is a tool called HomeBot. And, okay, you all just started going like this. HomeBot is a tool. It is a paid service. So again, if you're new to the business and you don't have income coming in, please don't go out and buy this.
Yeah.
Okay. The good news is it's $25 a month if you partner with a lender. By the way, our lender partners are all partnerships in it. Okay. And what you do is you put your people who own their homes in there. You put some basic criteria, like when they bought the home and for how much, and it will now send them an email on a monthly basis of what the estimated value of their home is. You can even look up, because in Realist, you can look up when they got their mortgage and for how much, and you could probably estimate what their interest rate is, and it will tell you it'll send them what their potential equity is in their home. I've set myself up on it. It's pretty accurate. I put Karen on it in mine because she wanted to see it, and you still get those emails from me. It's pretty accurate, and it ebbs and flows with the market. Yep. Okay, so when you're ready in your business, this is a great tool. So if I was writing this for my business, I would say all homeowners in my database are on HomeBot.
Yeah, Cloud CMA has something similar to that product as well. So Cloud CMA will actually go through and also put together the CMA for you, and actually have like virtual stuff that they can go play with, as well as you can set people up on these monthly drips as well. Significantly more expensive, but it does a little bit more as well.
Okay, what else can we do for our sphere? Everybody has one once a year. Okay, so we had birthdays back here, and I'm coming to you. So what am I doing for their birthday? What are you doing on this plan? Because we're going to be specific.
Annie's beads.
You're going to call people on their birthday, because it's the one phone call you'll feel comfortable making, is calling and telling somebody happy birthday. Okay? And then you said handwritten notes and greeting cards. Tell me more.
I was just thinking, like, right now, just because I have to be budget wise right now. That's a personal problem.
Until October 30th, when you get a closing.
No, I'm scratching with a personal note. Basically, I have some cards that are all
okay.
So it's very random to my farm.
Okay, so that's a farming exercise. This is sphere. Okay, so let's get really specific. So you're going to send a handwritten note with or without a lottery ticket in it. But you're going to send a handwritten note to people in your sphere. How many are you going to send a day or a week? One note a day or one note a week? one handwritten note a week to somebody in your database. And if you do that, will you get through your entire database in the year with at least one handwritten note? Okay, so as your budget allows, you might bump that to 2, right? There's an agent in our market center. As soon as I say this, you'll all know who he is. He sends 3 handwritten notes a day, 5 days a week.
They don't all know who he is. He's kind of
Ron.
with his box of money or whatever
With
he
his
calls it.
box of money, right? So handwritten notes. Now you also mentioned greeting cards. Okay. So what kind of greeting cards are we sending? What kind? Home or wedding?
Oh,
Friendship.
home anniversary,
Yeah.
Your friendship anniversary. You met me a year ago today. Happy friendship anniversary.
Yeah, but Facebook doesn't even get that right because I usually have known those people longer than that, right? But some kind of hand greeting cards, right? And then get specific in your plan. If your plan is you're going to send Thanksgiving cards because everybody sends Christmas cards. If you celebrate Christmas, everybody sends, well, not anymore. I don't even think people do that anymore. You want to stand out, send cards.
The obscure holidays. Break through the noise.
Yeah.
Right? Go find an obscure holiday. It doesn't matter what it is, and just send the card out. Right? Happy National Paper Airplane Day.
We're going there. Yes. And send out a card. You could do it for the 4th of July. You could do it for New Year's. You could do it for fill in the blank here, right? How many, so if you're putting this in your GPS, who to who and when? So if you're going to say greeting cards, then what holidays are you going to do it, right? Are you going to do the first day of spring? Are you going to do the 4th of July? Are you going to do Thanksgiving? I think Thanksgiving is always a really nice one. A Christmas one, a New Year's one, but you decide which holidays you're going to do this, okay? Because that's going to help your plan. If you just write, I'm going to send greeting cards on your plan, that's what I call fluffy bunny, because it's not specific enough, okay? All right, what else? We got most of it. I got one I'm going to throw up there because you all they use it. It's almost like the Sunday school words. I'm going to do social media for my sphere. Okay. So remember we said social media can be a priority or it can be a strategy. If I'm using social media in my strategy into supporting my sphere, what does that look like? Okay. So since I came up with the idea, it might say something like 5 posts a week on my personal page, not my business page, my personal page, of which 4 of them will be personal. Now I'll do it this way. 3 of them personal, 1 business, and then 1 educational. Okay. But 5 posts a week. Because if I'm doing that enough, then the algorithms will start to see me. What's earnest money? Be something like that. It's still real estate related, right? It's still a real estate related post, but it's something of information that I'm going out because I want people to know I'm smart and I know my business. And AI has gotten to the point, you guys, and you don't want this to be a long minute video, right? I don't want this to be me chirping at them for 10 minutes about something in real estate. Yeah, exactly. What's the statistic? Less than 90 minutes or less than 2 minutes on an informational video or a reel?
Oh, well, not 90 minutes. I mean, it's a
Sorry.
minute, so you're allowed up to 90 seconds, but you want to keep it below 60.
No, it just has to be something quick and snappy. Okay.
Yeah,
all of those updates, market updates.
Yep,
absolutely.
and you could create a video out of it, right? Or you could absolutely, you can drop those, right? So educational business, right? Because we know that 75 to 80% of our posts should be personal and 20 to 25% should be business. So if I'm doing 5, the 3-2 gives me a 60-40 mix. Okay. My social media might be that I'm going to comment 10 times a day, 5 days a week on other people's posts and photos.
Because here's the thing, guys, like people are putting their social media out. This is their outward facing diary. I want everyone, I mean, like, does anyone post anything on social media that you actually just don't care about? You're just posting? Like, no one does, right? Like, you're saying, like, hey, dear diary, this is what I ate today, and I want the world to know it. Like, they care about it. Like, you care about it. So comment on it. People care about themselves, right? Like, if you were to ask someone, like, what do you care about the most? They're not going to say themselves, but it's themselves.
Mhm.
Right. And so if you're going through and you're like, oh my God, that looks delicious. Where was that? They want to talk about it because they put it on social media. So the people would look at it, comment it, like on it, and you get to be that person now.
Yeah. And it lets them know I'm paying attention and I care. Right. And by commenting back and forth, it increases the algorithms. So they are seeing your stuff, even if they're not commenting on yours. Right. And then I might throw on there, 5 direct messages a week or 1 direct message a day to somebody. Like maybe I see a post about, somebody's kid just joined the Navy. I might actually not put I don't know why I chose that.
I would have gone that way, but hey, I bet you'll miss your kid.
See, that's not what I would say.
That's what
What Charles would say.
yeah. Yeah.
Might actually send a direct message that said, I'm so proud of, fill in the kid's name here who I don't know. And you must be so proud, or, why did he choose the Navy, or where's he going to be stationed at, or, ask a question of real concern.
What are you going to do with that extra bedroom?
Do you need to sell your house? Do you need less space? This is why we don't teach together very often. You get silly. But you guys understand what we're talking about? So this is where social media is a support of your sphere. So for some of you that say, I don't do social media, I don't want to post, that's fine, but use it to support the people in your world that do. And maintain that relationship with them and let them know you care. Okay? So my daughter and I, it's more her than me, but now it's kind of fun. On our birthdays, she has a competition to see. Her birthday's in September, mine is in April. And she will go back and look and see how many birthday messages her mom got on her birthday.
Elizabeth and I all day long. We play this.
And then on her birthday, if she gets more than I got on my previous birthday, she calls me and tells me, I got more comments than you did.
Yeah.
Elizabeth and I beat her. But
yeah.
But again, people like that. Even though we sit and go, oh my God, all I'm writing on here is happy birthday, Susie. Hope you have a fantastic day. Hope the kids spoil you rotten or whatever. Make sure you just don't use the pre-programmed happy birthday with the little confetti because that doesn't mean as much. But they still notice those too, right? Make people feel special on their birthday. Don't be like my cousin Matt, who does HBD. Punch him. Okay? It's those little things. All right? All right. Do you feel like we hammered the sphere? Okay. How many of you got ideas that you didn't think about before to enhance the relationships you currently have or to build new relationships with people that you would like to know better? Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to pick 5 to 6 of them. And maybe you're not ready, so maybe you need to come up here and take a picture. Okay? But you want to make sure the ones you write are going to move the needle. Okay? You had a question, sir?
Yeah, I don't think that we fully fleshed out the priority yet. So we just did the goal. So the goal is by December 15th, 2026, hit $100,000 in net GCI so that I can be debt free come December 17th.
Okay.
And then I said, I'm going to use sphere of influence. And then we jumped to the S and we laid out how we were going to do it.
Strategies, yep.
But yeah, when we were looking at this, how much of that $100,000 am I going to get from my sphere of influence?
So there's different methodologies to this, okay? My belief is, and the one that you would get from MAPS, is that the strategies of this priority should 100% achieve your goal. Now, you're going to sit there and you're going to say, but Margaret, then why do I need 3 priorities? Because the reality is they won't all hit you at 100%. Okay. But when you write the strength of the priority, those strategies, if fully executed, should get you your goal. Now, your methodology, you like to put specific numbers. Charles likes to say, I'm going to get, how many did you have? 12 was your number? Did we even have a number on number of transactions?
Just 100K.
So that should be, that's close to 11 or 12 transactions depending on price point. So
Yeah.
he's going to get 12 transactions, let's pretend. He might say 7 of them are going to come from this. So that's why you don't see me put a specific goal, an actual goal with the priority, because my intent is if I only execute that one at 100%, I'll hit my goal. Did that do what you wanted it to?
Yeah, my thought process, just as you're looking at it, I think Margaret's 100% right when you look at it. My thought process, though, is that I don't think we're going to all create or treat all these equally. I think that you guys are really going to lean on one, and you're probably going to let the other 2 die. And while that's not the intent, and I hope that you don't, I'm a realist, and I think it's real. To where you might flirt with number 2, and you're going to forget all about number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the number 1 most important one to at least be number 1, to where you think about it in a capacity of this is going to move the needle the most, right? To where this is where I'm going to push the hardest, and be realistic where like, okay, well, I'm only going to be able to do 7 from here. So am I really going to do number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I really need to lean on number 3? And you should be doing all of them.
But we even see that at the market center level.
All day long.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's the reality, coaching 8 years. You will hammer one really well. You will do a second one greater than 50%, and your third one won't happen. So if you really wrote your GPS with only 2 priorities, I would be totally okay with that. And for new agents, when I'm writing your first GPS, we never go beyond the second one because it's too overwhelming. It's too much, right? Now, in our business, we do have 3. And you're right. We hit number 1 really hard because it's our sphere. Number 2 is our open houses. And we probably have hit that at probably a 75% achievement level this year. But we're having the best year we've ever had. Right? And both have been in the business for 11 years. So we're doing something right if we're hitting at that level. Number 3, we kind of kicked the tire and then it just kind of died. We never even started the engine. Right? So be real. And I will be real with you as your coaches. Right? As your coach, I'm not going to be going, well, how come you're not working harder on this agent to agent referrals or whatever it is? Because the reality is it's not moving your needle. Okay? I had you write down 4 priorities because I want you to walk out of here and go home and think about what will I really do? And I killed that tangent earlier, so I won't go there again. Okay? All right. How you feeling? What are you taking away? Give me a couple of takeaways real quick. You're building your ladder of commitment, right? I think I heard you use 3 of the different levels in the ladder of commitment, right? I'll try and I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How do we get to all in, right? I want this plan to be something that you're all in on, right? Not I'm interested until, or I will until, right? I love that though. So new, fresh ideas, maybe putting a little more structure around it. Okay, what else? One more.
Not everyone at once.
Don't make me call on you.
Yeah, Sherry and Mara and Elena.
Don't cheat. Come on, you're always good for a good aha. Mhm. I like, right? That is our goal, right? The number one thing we hear from agents of all levels of experience is, I don't know what to do. Well, we're helping you figure out what to do. And you get to decide your journey. You get to decide your way of going where you're going. Okay? Here's the other thing. When you do this GPS and you take really good care of it and you have a relationship with it, it empowers you to use the most powerful word in the English language. No. When you get those phone calls, hi, this is so and so from such and such a high school. Would you like to be a sponsor on the sports things for the season? It'll only cost you $1,500. Is it on my plan? I can say, I'm sorry, that's just not in the budget this year, so no. It's not in my plan, right? Right? Or you're sitting in a room like this, or you're sitting in coffee talk or team rally, and or you go to a conference and you hear this agent and they're talking about, man, they're just killing it with fill in the blank here. And all of a sudden you go, well, I was marching down that plan, but oh, that sounds really good. It allows you to say, no, this is the road I chose to drive. This is the road I'm staying on. I don't care if I miss out on the biggest ball of twine in Kansas. It's not on my journey. Okay? No is very powerful because as realtors, we get caught up all the time in chasing sexy objects. And I watch you guys, right? Sherry and Mara will talk about their favorite things event or their recycling event or whatever. And then all of a sudden, all of you want to go do it, right? Or you'll hear somebody else talk about their great success that they're having in their geographical farm. And what you don't realize is they've been working on that geographical farm for 10 years. And all of a sudden you go, oh, and you turn here, but here's the problem. You've been building your skill set on this roadmap. What's your skill set on this one? You're starting over every time you do that. So this plan allows you to say, no, I'm sticking with my plan and I'm staying on your plan. And when you stick to your plan, you become the number 2 agent in the market center.
Well, and when we go through these exercises, right, we just are throwing all the stuff out there, and I think the key is boiling it down to what works for budget, you have a comfort level with, and simplicity that we can.
Right. So the GPS, when you look at the little form I gave you, it says how many strategies? 5. How many did we write? A lot more than 5. We gave you many ways because while Sherry's going to call everybody in her database for their birthdays, you might decide you don't really care about people's birthdays, and instead you're going to have 3 coffee dates a week. And guess what? That's okay. All right? Elena might say she's doing 3 events next year, and you might say, you know what, all I'm going to do is the breakfast with Santa at the market center because economically that's all I can do next year based on the budget I set. And that's okay. So we gave you more ideas than you all need, because if I just wrote down 5 ideas, you would all look the same. And the reality is, many of you don't want to do portraits in the park. You don't even know what that means. Probably figure it out. We go to a park and we take pictures, but you don't know how to implement it. So we wanted to give you ideas, and then you can take this and brainstorm your own too. Okay? But I love that. That was a great aha too. All right. We're 10 minutes. What do you want to do with it? You want us to hammer out ideas for another one of them? Okay, which one?
Oh.
I was hoping she was going to say that. So funny. I have this cheat sheet from when we did this a year ago with all the different ideas on it. So fun. I use it with new agents all the time. Some of you have copies of it. Okay, so open houses. Okay, give me some strategies. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna give you the first one. How many open houses, how often? You have to start there. So open houses is going to be one of your top priorities, and it's going to get you your 12 transactions a year. Because remember, each priority should support 100%. You have to back into, I need to have 60 conversations a week, of which maybe I want half of those conversations to come from open houses. So my goal with the open houses is to generate 30 conversations a week. Okay, so how many open houses do I need to host a week, or you can convert it to a month, to get those conversations in? It might be one, it might be two, it might be five. So you got it. That's where knowing our numbers, and I can help you all build into what those are. So your first step is how many and how often. I recommend writing open houses as a monthly goal versus a weekly goal, because please don't work every weekend. However, there is a very top performing team in this state that they host their open houses on Wednesdays from 4 to 7. In the wintertime, they move it up because they want out of there before the sun goes down. But they don't, your open houses do not just have to be the weekends. That's what you see Elizabeth and Charles and I helping the listing agents get them for that time lane. But the reality is, you pick up the phone, call an agent who's got a listing that you want to host open, and see if you can do it on a Wednesday. Vacant stage properties, you'll get more yeses than you will those odd times. You never know. Kathy Peterson, I don't know if she's still here, she used to host open houses on her listings Friday afternoons from 10 until 1. Got people before they were headed out of town. Had great traffic from it. So how many, how often? Okay, open houses, I heard social media. Okay, so with social media, what does that mean for open houses? What are you going to do with it in social media? You're going to do what? Where? So on your personal Instagram, you're going to post about your open house on whatever day you're going to have it. Okay? How else can I use social media for open houses? I gave it to you in your one-on-one this morning. Invite people how? You could direct message people under social media and invite them. Yep. You could create an event in Facebook, right? And if you ever go to the events on your Facebook, did you guys ever notice there's events on there that you didn't indicate you wanted to go to? But it's events that are in your neighborhood because, you know, social media knows where you are. So it would be a great way, events, okay? How else can you use social media? That's probably it, huh? You got any other ideas, Mr. Social Media?
I mean, here's something what's kind of interesting. If you guys want a gut check moment, I was on a call with Gary Keller last week, and he said for new agents entering into his market centers, he tells them all that their minimum commitment should be $1,000 over the first 90 days just for paid ads. Brand new agent, $1,000 over 90 days just for paid ads.
And is that paid ads for open houses or all paid ads?
And all of it encompassing.
So you could dedicate a portion of doing paid ads to go into your Facebook and Instagram that spreads the word about your open houses. You don't have to spend $333 a month.
I saw that now.
Yeah, should have seen people at the bowling alley last night. They had to take a calculator to add 5 numbers I did in my head in less time than they had the first 2. Anyway, yeah, that's all paid ads. And do you guys understand what paid ads in like social do for you?
And environment.
Okay.
All right.
I've not had that experience, but do you know when you're in social, do you know what the paid ads are? Can you identify them? What
Yeah,
does it look like?
yeah. You guys been on Instagram, Facebook. What does a paid ad look like? Okay, what else does it look like? Okay, but like, what else is the mechanic of it? Like, what does it do? Why is it a paid ad? You have to click something? Okay, so you click what? What does it say? learn more. And then what do you do after you click learn more? You give your information, and where does it go? To the person. It happens to you, it goes right into your command. As soon as they fill out all that information, it goes right to you. And you get a notification, it says new lead.
And it will tell you that the lead came from Facebook, because we also get some of those new leads that we do nothing to get them to join us. So
You just have a Facebook page.
Correct. Correct. Yes. So no, the answer is no, it's not hard.
I did one once.
Yeah.
I figured it out. And for many of you guys, oh, you figured out how to do it. Yeah, I did. I wasn't proud of it, but I got it done.
She actually gave them out.
I gave them out to the coaching clients who did nothing with them.
Yes, Cherry.
Were you picking on?
Cherry's not going to come back. I was picking on Elena this morning, but I had to change it.
Okay. All right. What else can we do for open houses? Door knock. Who are you going to door knock? How many? 100 when? So the day before every open house, you're going to door knock 100 neighbors and you're going to invite them to your open house. Okay.
For
What else? Huh?
For what?
To invite them to come to the open house.
Yeah, you're going to do a neighborhood exclusive, coffee, come check out the Joneses, or you're going to invite them to the regular time. Like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested to see what the Joneses are doing down the street, but 123 Main Street, we're going to have an open house from 10 to 12 o'clock, and we're going to do something exclusively for the neighbors. If you'd be interested, we're going to have coffee for 30 minutes before that. Come on down. It's a special invite, right? You're not with the other people. This is VIP.
What do you guys do with open houses for your listings? What do you do? So you're going to do sip and sees. What's the difference between a sip and see and a regular open house?
Well, do like the first night that it's active, like a Thursday. We invite all the neighbors, and we put it in as an open house in the MLS. And then potential buyers come as well, and they're like, "This is busy. I want this house." We have had buyers walk into those events and actually be the buyer, because they see all the neighbors and they're wine. And so
How do you tell?
how do we tell if they're neighbors?
How do you tell each neighbor?
Oh, we mail postcards or we deliver them, depending on the lead time. It's kind of tricky. Cause you have to be within a.
So instead of door knocking, because we know that that's not your jam, and that's okay, you direct mail when it's your listing. Now, if it's not your listing, you guys are probably not going to have the lead time to be able to pull off a sip and see and that. But you might have in open houses, you might do a special open house if it's your listing just for the neighbors, and you up the game a little bit. So you direct mail the invitation. Okay. Yeah. So again, you don't, what I love that you said was that the buyers have walked in, but it's not on Saturday and Sunday. I truly believe Saturdays and Sundays are great, but I think some of those other days are starting to make more sense. Because Lynette, what do you do on Saturdays and Sundays? Especially in the summertime.
Casino.
Well, she's at the casino, but also what else are you doing? You're at baseball with your kid. She wants to buy a house, but boy, you got a Thursday night open house. She might actually be able to stop in. Because she's busy on Saturday and Sunday with competitive baseball. Okay. What else can we do for open houses?
Well, email newsletters. Like, and so guys, I think this is like one of the things. And when we start thinking about social media and how I don't want to do social media because I'm not into social media, but then when we go through and we record a reel or whatever, and then we take that reel and we put it into our email newsletter and we send it out and we put it on our QR barcodes and we're doing the postcards and we're sending it out for the sip and sees, right? We're just taking all that content and recirculating it around and around and around. So anyone doing email newsletters on these are the open houses that I'm hosting? Like if you're knocking 100 homes And then you're going in, you're doing all these different things, and you're collecting data, and then you're sending out your open house invite to the people that you met at last week's open house, if it made
Do
sense
that
for
one.
them. Like, that's how you get into relationship with these people.
We had a series of open houses. We had a ton of condos and townhomes down in Littleton, like for 6 consecutive weeks. And we literally took the people that came to week 1 and texted and said, hey, we're going to have this one open. You might like this one better, or come check this one out. The other thing we're in the process of doing is segmenting our database, Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, West. So anyone in our database who lives in the Northwest Metro, and if we're hosting an open house in the Northwest Metro, we're emailing our database, hey, this is the open house we're going to be at this weekend, come check it out. I'm not going to email it to my people that live in Parker if I'm up in Layden Rock, right? But if you segment it out, and I love that, Charles, right? I tag open house and what part of town, and I invite those people that were at my past open house in that same general geographical area. Hey, here's an open house this weekend you might be interested in. Okay, that could be another thing. You could email your database your open houses.
And maybe I don't even care about if they're the right end user. I just want to show off that I'm busy.
Yeah.
Make sure that if there's any other houses that are for sale, if they're doing an open house, make sure that you are doing it at the same time. 12 to 2, contact that agent. They offer you my flyers, I'll take yours, let's direct each other and do this long contract.
Yep. Okay, what else? We went over. How many directional arrows are you going to put out? Okay. Are you gonna, what is your flyers, right? What are you giving away, right? Are you doing a raffle at your open houses? And then honestly, you guys gotta create, and I would say on open house, my #1 strategy is by January 31st, I have a killer follow-up open house plan that includes smart plans, that includes handwritten notes, that includes phones, that includes everything. Because at the end of the day, the magic in an open house is what?
Follow.
Follow up. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I can't wait to help you guys really dive into your GPSs this year, because I do know they work. All right. Anything on Zoom, question mark, Stacy, that I need to answer? They all went to sleep. All right. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a great week. Get on my one-on-one calendar. For those of you in coaching, see you. Bye.